Most people assume billionaires have some extraordinary secret or supernatural gift. But what if I told you their wealth is actually rooted in something surprisingly simple, their psychology? There's a way billionaires think about money, risk, and opportunities that's fundamentally different from most people. Understanding this mindset could genuinely transform your financial future, and today I'll show you precisely how. My name's Simon, and after losing everything in my first business, I rebuilt my wealth from scratch. On my journey back, I've carefully studied the mindsets of some of the world's most successful people, and I've discovered insights about billionaires' psychology that I genuinely wish I'd known earlier. Here's the first eye-opening truth. Billionaires don't see risk the way most of us do. Conventional wisdom suggests billionaires are fearless risk-takers, but that's not entirely accurate. Warren Buffett famously said, "Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing," highlighting a powerful lesson. Billionaires deeply understand that true risk isn't taking action, it's not being informed. They obsessively educate themselves, making risks calculated, strategic, and highly informed. Consider Jeff Bezos. When launching Amazon, he left a comfortable Wall Street career, a decision many labeled risky. But Bezos himself viewed it differently, once explaining, "I knew that if I failed, I wouldn't regret that. But I knew the one thing I might regret is never trying." Here lies the key insight. Billionaires weigh risk by potential regret, rather than simply fear of loss. Now here's something fascinating. Billionaires focus relentlessly on long-term thinking. Elon Musk didn't create Tesla and SpaceX expecting immediate profits. Instead, he's always spoken openly about his long-term vision for humanity. He famously said, "When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor." Musk thinks in decades, not months or even years. This perspective allows billionaires to withstand setbacks and ignore short-term market volatility, positioning them strategically for sustained wealth growth. But perhaps you're thinking, "Simon, that's easy for billionaires. They can afford to think long-term." Here's what's genuinely intriguing. They thought this way even before achieving wealth. Bill Gates started Microsoft with a clear long-term mission: a computer on every desk in every home. This mindset didn't magically appear once he'd made billions. It was precisely what allowed him to reach billionaire status. Now let me share a personal insight that changed how I approach opportunities. After my bankruptcy, I felt paralyzed by short-term thinking, constantly worried about quick profits to recover my losses. But when I began studying billionaire psychology, I realized my approach was entirely backward. Once I shifted my mindset, focusing on sustainable, long-term opportunities, my financial recovery accelerated dramatically. Here's another surprising aspect of billionaire psychology. They embrace failure as an essential stepping stone rather than something shameful or disastrous. Legendary investor Ray Dalio perfectly illustrates this mindset, stating, "Pain plus reflection equals progress." Dalio openly shares his biggest failures, crediting them as essential learning experiences that shaped his extraordinary success. He views each setback not as defeat, but as vital feedback. And this isn't unique to Dalio. Steve Jobs famously got fired from Apple, yet later described it as the best thing that ever happened to him. Why? Because it forced him to innovate and grow in ways comfort would never have allowed. Jobs later returned to Apple, transforming it into the world's most valuable company. Think carefully for a moment. How do you personally respond to setbacks? Do they crush your momentum, or do you actively use them as stepping stones toward greater success. Understanding this difference in response is crucial if you genuinely want financial freedom. Now here's something practical and immediately actionable. The next time you experience a setback or financial difficulty, ask yourself honestly, what powerful lesson can I learn here? Rather than spiraling into worry or regret, focus relentlessly on extracting wisdom. Billionaires instinctively practice this technique, turning obstacles into invaluable insights. At this point, you're probably wondering, Simon, these insights are powerful, but how exactly can I apply this billionaire psychology practically, starting today? And that's precisely the question I'll answer clearly in the next segment, revealing concrete, actionable strategies even complete beginners can implement. But before I do, let me leave you with a powerful thought from Marcus Aurelius, who wisely said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Your financial life is no different. Adopting the psychology of billionaires won't just enhance your wealth, it could profoundly enrich your entire life. There's an even deeper level to this mindset, something I've personally found transformational and essential to my own wealth journey. I'll share exactly what that is in a moment, because you genuinely don't want to miss it. It might just be the breakthrough you've been searching for. Years ago, after losing my first fortune, I stumbled upon a psychological secret billionaires instinctively use, yet few ordinary investors truly understand. It profoundly changed my financial trajectory, allowing me to rebuild wealth and achieve genuine financial independence. Here's exactly what it is. Billionaires cultivate an abundance mindset rather than one of scarcity. Let me explain precisely what this means. Most people unconsciously operate from a scarcity mindset, believing wealth is finite, limited, or requires taking from others. Billionaires, however, instinctively believe wealth creation is unlimited. They understand the economy isn't a zero-sum game. As Oprah Winfrey brilliantly puts it, be thankful for what you have, you'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never have enough. Oprah deeply embodies abundance thinking, recognizing opportunities are limitless, not restricted. Now, this isn't merely feel-good advice, it's scientifically powerful. Renowned Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck's research proves adopting an abundance mindset, which she calls a growth mindset, directly enhances performance, resilience, and wealth creation. Individuals with this mindset genuinely believe they can develop skills, grow their wealth, and expand opportunities. As billionaire investor Mark Cuban says, "Sweat equity is the most valuable equity there is." Billionaires intuitively realize their personal potential and opportunities are genuinely limitless. Practically, here's exactly how you can immediately adopt this abundance mindset. Every time you encounter financial challenges or limits, ask yourself honestly, what opportunities am I overlooking here? For instance, when rebuilding after my bankruptcy, I initially viewed opportunities as limited, stuck in a scarcity mindset. But once I shifted to abundance thinking, suddenly new possibilities, like teaching online, consulting, or passive income streams, became clearly visible, rapidly accelerating my financial recovery. Here's another crucial psychological insight. Billionaires embrace decisive action despite uncertainty. Most people fear uncertainty, becoming paralyzed by indecision or procrastination. Billionaires, however, see uncertainty as essential for growth. Jeff Bezos famously states, "If you wait for 90% certainty, you're probably too late." Bezos perfectly illustrates billionaire psychology, recognizing the real risk isn't action, but inaction. Now here's exactly how you can practically apply this immediately. When faced with decisions, rather than waiting for complete certainty, identify your acceptable risk threshold and then decisively act within it. This is precisely how billionaires operate, rapidly moving forward while others hesitate. They understand even imperfect action produces vastly superior results than perfect inaction. Here's something else fascinating billionaires do differently. They consistently surround themselves with smarter, more talented individuals. Andrew Carnegie, one of history's richest men, famously remarked, "No person will make a great business who wants to do it all himself." Carnegie built massive wealth precisely because he recognized the power of collaboration and delegation. Billionaires instinctively understand true wealth. Creation demands leveraging collective intelligence. Think clearly for a moment. Are you trying to do everything yourself, afraid others might overshadow you? This scarcity mindset directly sabotages wealth potential. Instead, consciously surround yourself with people more talented or knowledgeable than you, openly embracing collective intelligence. Billionaires deeply understand wealth creation is collaborative, never solitary. Finally, billionaires use psychological discipline to control emotions, especially during market volatility or setbacks. Warren Buffett powerfully summarizes this discipline, advising, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." Buffett's discipline, his ability to remain calm during market panic, is arguably his greatest investing advantage. Billionaires intuitively realize emotions directly sabotage rational decision-making, particularly financial decisions. Here's exactly how you can apply this immediately. Next time market volatility occurs, resist emotional reactions. Instead, pause deliberately, reminding yourself volatility inevitably occurs and historically presents powerful opportunities. Practice consciously responding rather than reacting emotionally. Billionaires consistently leverage this emotional discipline, creating massive wealth precisely because they're calm while others panic. Ultimately, billionaire psychology isn't about secret formulas or mystical abilities. It's disciplined, strategic, and mindset-driven. Billionaires intuitively practice abundance thinking, decisive action, collaborative intelligence, and emotional discipline. Practically adopting these principles isn't just inspiring. It's genuinely achievable for anyone willing to learn and act. Let me leave you with a profoundly powerful insight from legendary motivational speaker Jim Rohn, who famously said, "Success is something you attract by the person you become." Adopting billionaire psychology is precisely how you become the type of person capable of attracting and creating massive financial success. Now, I genuinely want to hear your thoughts. Which psychological insight resonated most deeply with you? Which practical action will you immediately start implementing? Please share your thoughts in the comments. I personally read every single one because your financial success truly matters to me.